He said, and Mitt Romney in the middle of the debate says, well, let's just do let's come up with an answer. I said, did he just say that? Did he just say, let's just come up with an answer? Did he just say that on national television? Did he just say, I'm going to throw a number out there and see if it sticks? I said, did he just say that? He did not just say that. He did not just say, let me come up with an answer. Come on. Joe Biden is accused for smiling.
Right.
Barack Obama is accused for smirking, but this guy just said, I'm going to come up with a random answer, and he's looked at, and it's going by the wayside. Are we serious? So he says $25,000. Tax Policy did a study on his answer. They said that revenue additional for capital deductions will come in at $1.3 trillion. Still has about $3.5 trillion left in order to account for it. But not only he's not stopping there, he's still going to keep the Bush tax cuts in place, another $1 trillion. And he's going to add $2 trillion on paying stuff for the Pentagon and adding more troops that they ain't even asked for. You got the folks in the Pentagon, Joint Chiefs, and all the types of folks, military folks, top level saying, wow, you're going to give us another $2 trillion, but we don't really need it. Well, you don't get it anyway. Military people, not even asking for money, and Mitt Romney says, I'm going to get it to you. Where's it coming from? And people say it was coming from poor folks. That's where a small piece is coming from. The rest is coming from our future generations. Because they're going to add on to the debt. It's the only way we're going to pay for it, just by adding on to the debt. And then what they're going to say, we're going to grow us top 1%, earn about 10% of the income. Now we got top 1% is only about 20 to 30% of the income. Top 1%. Top 5% owns as much as 80 to 90% of the total wealth in this country. What's happening is, as they do this trickle down, think about the folks about the greed that we've seen in Wall Street. If they get a tax cut and put it in their pocket, do you think they're going to give it to you? They put it in their pocket, make them richer, so we start seeing this income gap start spreading. Rich get richer, poor get poor. Well, actually, rich get richer, poor get put in jail, because now they start putting more discriminatory laws, getting folks off the street. I actually do believe that they're trying to create a cheaper labor force. I actually believe that the end result, if you go up to Freeport, Illinois right now, they got a company called Sensata, shipping jobs overseas, owned by Bain, shipping jobs overseas. Why? Because they get about $1 an hour over in China, 99 cents an hour. They took the Sensata workers, American workers, only about 17 bucks an hour, made them train the Chinese workers, and they're shipping the whole daggone plant and equipment with it over to China. They're laying off all American workers. They're making sure that they're replaced with Chinese workers earning $1 an hour. That is where they would like to go. Now, how can they create that? They can only create that if they do what? Take away your education. That's why in the Mitt Romney who endorsed the Paul Ryan budget, a large percentage of that would come from cutting Pell Grants, making it harder for folks, especially low income, to afford to go to college. So now you get a whole class of poor people who are less educated. They would be a little bit more prone to take it $1 an hour. You see where it's going? You take that, you add collective bargaining rights off the table. You talk about proposal 2. You take collective bargaining rights off the table. Unions are dismantled. Now we have no more unions. Now we got China right here at home. Because essentially you have a labor force that's not educated, can't compete on higher level jobs. So now I don't have to do any more outsourcing. They can hire some cheap labor right here in this country and pay you $1, $2 an hour, and you'd be happy for it because you have the education to get any other type of job. As opposed to the other side, investments in education, doubling the size of Pell Grants. The SAFRA legislation, I want you to look up SAFRA, Student Aid Financial Responsibility Act. Another $60 billion was come up with from Barack Obama's legislation just by taking the bank out of the middleman. Y'all know how student loans work with the government, how they used to work. You had to go to the student loans, but actually it was a bank between you and the government, saying, let me take a little piece of overhead from that. Now Barack Obama said, bank, we don't need you. That's why it's a big pushback. That's why the money out here is starting to pour in. That's why Wall Street's saying this dude Barack Obama passed the most sweeping credit card legislation, the CARD Act, C-A-R-D Act, 2009. Card Accountability, Responsibility, Disclosure Act. Making credit cards more responsible to disclose exactly what you're buying. cost the banks billions of dollars. And they say that he's on the side of lobbyists. That cost the banks billions of dollars. SAFRA, billions of dollars. Dodd-Frank, financial regulatory reform. Now, didn't go as far as I would like for it to go. I got to be real. Didn't go. Still to this day, the banks that are doing the same shady practices of yesterday can still do the same things today, but there are protections in Dodd-Frank that make it a little bit more scrutiny, a little bit more regulation to try to protect it. Too big to fail, despite what President Obama says. I don't think it's done. It's not done yet, because there's really no safeguards for it. But it goes further than Mitt Romney said what he's going to do, which is repeal the entire thing and go right back to the exact same economy that we got here in the first place.